Welcome to 10 Talk, where the conversation's on 10 and the personalities are on 100. Now, this might be a little bit different than what you may be used to us, but you know what? 10
It's
people.
anime time! You hear me? We in this thing. You feel me? Black people watch anime too.
So, today we're going to be talking about different anime, but mostly the focus is going to be on my favorite anime, Naruto. Everybody in the
What's your
comments,
favorite?
get it. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it.
I didn't know that was your favorite one. That's your favorite. For real? You
Well, I
like
followed
all of
it for the past.
anime as a universe. I mean Naruto like as in his universe, like with the fillers and the movies that don't matter, everything.
I've
Or
seen
you just talking about
almost every
just the story?
movie.
You talking about just the story, just
I've
the
read the
main story?
manga. I've watched all the anime. I'm caught up with Boruto. I'm watching Boruto mainly because of fan service, not because I actually care about the story. I'm just watching
Is it
it for.
really that bad?
It's not bad, but my problem with Boruto specifically is that it's like once you've already climbed the mountain, where do you go? And with Boruto, the problem is they want to make the new
They
generation
went to aliens.
right. They want to make the new generation interesting, but they're having a hard time doing that, in my opinion, because it's like you've already like built up, had all this like hype. You've built up this whole like giant world with Naruto. Like Naruto came out when I was like 4 or 5 in America, at least. I know it was in Japan, pretty like around the time I was born, but I feel like it came in America when I was like really, really little. So it's like you have all these years to build up the story. And then with Boruto, it's like it's like the new generation doesn't have to work for anything, which it makes sense. They're all prodigies because like all their parents were the prodigies of their generation, so now all of them are prodigies. But I feel like they get abilities too quickly. They don't really like have any real missions because they're not in war. It's like their new threat is like this like weird Akatsuki 2.0 thing they're trying to go with, which I don't really care about yet. Still, they're not that interesting to me. It's just one of those things where I feel like they didn't take enough time in between to really map this out. It just feels like a cash grab. And it's like, oh, they're playing on nostalgia, which is fine. There's a way to do that, though.
Yeah, for me, I think like for Barto, I feel there's no real threat in the story because like I feel like Naruto and Sasuke like they'll always be there to like defend any real problem. So but the series is supposed to be focused on Boruto, but it's like how do you like get like the older characters from the last generation out of the way so like Boruto can really like shine without like upsetting everyone.
Right. And the way that they've been doing it recently is, I feel like, in my personal opinion, they haven't made any of the new generation shine in a way that actually makes sense. They make Naruto and Sasuke, in particular, do a lot of dumb things they wouldn't normally do for plot convenience, so that way Boruto can surpass one of them, which is unrealistic a little bit. Like, I get that he's supposed to surpass them because he's the main character now. He has plot armor, but like, it's just not realistic the way they're doing it. It's a little contrived. They're pulling a lot of things out of a hat.
Makes sense.
I mean, I've only watched a couple of episodes, but that's what because I watched the movies because the movies are what's the like first like the episodes are based around or
Right,
something,
right.
and then I watched like a couple after that, and that's kind of what I noticed from those episodes.
Also, again, it's like you said, aliens. It's like Naruto went from being a show about ninjas and whatnot to becoming a Dragon Ball Z hybrid spinoff type thing. And I know like Masasashi Kishimoto senpai, who does not work on Dragon Ball Z, like who does not work with Akira Toriyama, of course, but it's like it has the Dragon Ball Z effect now, where it's like now every like powerful villain is like it's an alien with a bunch of like hacked power. There's no real like nobody really has to train for anything. I feel like because it's like aliens. There's no strategy to any of the fights almost ever anymore. It's just like who can pull the like biggest plot device out of their or like behind. Like they now got gauntlets that absorb ninjutsu, that can absorb chakra. It just reminds me of Android 17 and 18. where they can just absorb ki energy through their hands. It's just kind of like that to me.
Yeah.
So we got on to make a Naruto video about good things we could have did and get on to slander it. Also, we're slandering Boruto, really, not Naruto. Boruto's getting
Right. But
But
in
I see what
order,
you mean. Like when you build a whole show based around this one guy who sucks, and then he becomes the OG, and then the next time it's a bunch of shows of it's a bunch of characters that's supposed to be better than the OG. It's like, but y'all didn't even suck yet.
right. And it's like, in my personal opinion, almost none of the teams are that interesting. Like even all the Jonin, I only care about 2 of them. We only care about Konohamaru because he's Boruto's team captain.
No, we
And
care
then
about Konohamaru because that's really Naruto. Forget Boruto. Konohamaru is supposed to be mini Naruto.
that is
He,
true.
he he was supposed to get the spinoff. They wasn't supposed to make him have a son. He was supposed to mentor Konohamaru.
Konohamaru is basically Kakashi now for Boruto, like in all intents and purposes.
Oh, that's dope. I'm okay with
And
that.
then, of course, you've got Boruto, Sadadan, Mitsuki. And then the only other like team leader I care about is Hanabi. But I don't care about her team. I only care about Hanabi.
Sounds like fan service.
And mainly it's because Hanabi, I feel like they're using her in a way to replace Neji a little bit.
You mean like as a character device?
In a way, yes. I feel like her character arc is what Neji's probably should have been in Boruto if Neji were alive. Like after the war, Neji would have eventually had a child with Tenten, most likely. And then they would have, and then Tenten, instead of Shino, Tenten would have worked at the academy while she has her weapon store on the side. And then Neji would have been like a Jonin leader while he like takes over as head of the Hyuga clan and helps train Boruto and Himawari and the child, of course.
Makes this the sense to me.
So we're gonna segue the Boruto talk and the missed opportunities in the sequel of Naruto and go back to the original Naruto and the missed opportunities in that show. How
Before
Naruto.
we segue real quick, I also have to say, and this kind of like applies to like where we're segueing to, which is why I want to get this out real quick. Not, I find that I saw more of these problems again in Boruto because of the fact that a lot of the characters who already kind of have wasted potential in Naruto and Naruto Shippuden have even more wasted potential in Boruto. Like for example, let's go back to Naruto. Let's go back to Naruto real quick. Shino. Shino was a really cool character that they do nothing with. He has his little find the tuning exams where he plugs his insects in that dude's hole into that dude's armholes, Zaku, in Zaku's armholes. Then he has like half a battle with Kankuro during the invasion, and then he's gone. When they do the Sasuke retrieval arc, where's Shino? They send him on a random mission with his dad.
You know, I actually did like Shino as a character too. I was very upset that I didn't get to see more of Shino. I like Shino and Kiba.
But even Kiba got to go.
Yeah,
Choji
Kiba,
got
no,
to go.
Kiba had an opportunity.
Kiba got to go. He got to get his little quote unquote redemption. Choji got to go. Neji was there. Shikamaru was there. Naruto was there. Why is Shino the only one of them who doesn't go on the
And
side?
Choji becomes a beast in Shippuden. That's the thing. Choji becomes a beast. Shino, he's irrelevant in Shippuden.
Again, like he gets two good, he gets like two semi good moments in Naruto, and then basically he disappears almost completely. He's just kind of there.
Yeah, I
So
think
I
Yeah, you're
think
not
one thing they
lying.
should have changed, they should have added him to the Sasuke retrieve arc.
yeah. That's always the hard thing when you introduce like such a large cast of people is trying to like highlight each and every one of them and make them individuals.
I mean, but it's that. Yes, I agree. That's hard. But to just have them disappear, you ain't gotta highlight the character, but don't act like he doesn't exist.
Right.
Like all they do is make mention of Shino. Like even like I said, even in Shippuden, Shino is nowhere to be found. Like he does nothing. He becomes nothing.
He
Like
barely talks to anybody. He's
he
all
barely even shows up.
his whole bit, his whole kind of like character like trope in Shippuden is, why am I always being left out? Why does nobody remember me?
It's like you made a character to ignore, but then you made him into a cool character. You should have made him have the stupid powers of Sakura if you wanted to ignore him. He just punches really hard. That irritates me.
Speaking of Sakura,
Honestly, I think Sakura is the most missed opportunity because of the fact that she is in the show the entire time, and the entire time she becomes more and more useless.
speaking
And
of
it's not
Sakura,
like
glad. I'm
she
glad you
didn't
brought
become like more useless to the point to where it's like okay, like she's still useless, but she's getting better with everybody else. No, she doesn't get better. She just stays useless, and then all of a sudden she's not useless again at the very end. But yes, Sakura irritates me as a
one
character.
thing about Sakura that I do agree with. I feel like, and maybe it's because again we know that she like would train with Tsunade for like those 2.5 years, but they don't really show much of it. I
Bro, they
feel
talk
like
about it all the time. I don't
right,
care if they show it or not. They talk about it all the time.
but it's also like we don't
It
really know
makes
much
her
about
look
Tsunade.
weak. It makes Tsunade look weak too. It's like you trained her and she's trash still. How are you the Hokage? Trash.
But
You're
one
the
thing I do
Hokage
think
by
that they could
default.
add to Sakura that would have made Sakura a better character, they should have given her Genjutsu. And here's one reason why I say that. Because from the very beginning, Sakura has always been praised to be very resistant to Genjutsu. They say that from the beginning when they're doing the tree climbing exercises, when they're forming Team 7, and the tuning exams where Kabuto uses the feather illusion jutsu on everybody, and she's one of the only ones who does not get swept into it. She's able to recognize the Genjutsu before it overtakes
That's
her.
that was a stupid excuse so she could have the one thing to stop her from having her worst enemy take over her mind. That was so she could break mind control jutsu. That was the only reason he needed her to have defensive resilience against mind control stuff. And it wasn't important after that.
Well, I
After
still
that fight,
the
he
mind
no longer
control isn't
cared.
really a Genjutsu so much. It's not really positioned to be that way
It's
anyway.
not a genjutsu, but the thing about a genjutsu is it's a mind technique. It's not reality. And that's what the mind transfer jutsu is. It's still a mind technique.
Right. But that's also
And
why
it's
I
like
do think that with the whole inner soccer thing, because they showed the whole inner soccer thing before that specific battle between Sakura and Ino. But I do think that would have been a good way to be like this. The reason why she can do this is because inner Sakura is a form of Genjutsu. So someone should have taught her how to use that as a Genjutsu. That would have made her a lot more helpful. Instead of like her one of her biggest accomplishments in the original Naruto franchise, as far as like fighting, is she bit a guy.
oh, I don't even remember her biting.
This was when they were in the Forest of Death, when they were getting the skull
Oh,
shot.
oh,
She bit
yeah,
a
yeah.
she bit a guy and cut her hair.
And that haircut was legit though.
It was a nice haircut, but the point is, it's like they really give her nothing. And for someone who's really there from the very beginning and we're supposed to see as a main character, that's disappointing.
She's trash. And it's not her fault that she's trash. It makes me even more upset. It's not that her character is trash. She doesn't have a character. Her whole character is I miss Sasuke.
That is very true. That's also a good point. But I
So
think that's why they gave her the 100 healing seal anyway, as a way to give her something else. Because it's like how you say the whole, oh, like inner Sakura Genjutsu thing, resistance is just a way for like the mind control, the mind transfer jutsu to like be a fail safe against, I guess. The same thing I think is like with the whole seal of 100 thing. It's like, oh, now she has something that's supposed to make her supposedly less useless.
No, the thing that was supposed to make her less useless is the slug that Tsunade gave her.
You mean Katsuyu, the slug contract she has?
Yeah, that thing. That was made her useful. It's because she could heal the entire war and not
Well,
be
that's part of the
useless.
strength of 100 seal. Her getting that seal allows her to have a contract with Katsuyu because Katsuyu is connected to the seal. That's part of the reason why Shizune cannot contact Katsuyu because Shizune does not have the chakra control to manifest the seal.
Is that a Boruto character?
No, Shizune is Tsunade's niece that basically acts as her assistant. You know, she wears the black dress. She carries around the pig
That's her
tongue.
niece? You know, I never knew that was her niece.
That's her niece, yes.
That's crazy. I was never aware of that.
Or rather, technically, that's her lover's. That's her lover's like sister daughter thing. It's some. They have some weird relationship to where she's connected to them.
Oh, okay. That's different.
I don't remember exactly how it is, but I just say niece because I think it just makes it easier and it kind of like matches the relationship they have with each other well enough. But that could be slightly wrong.
Got it. Okay.
But it's like again,
it's more like the rep
too much with because she has like the poison, like she has like poison fog jutsu and stuff like that. Tauntaun's really funny.
I mean, but the author of Naruto said that he didn't know how to write female characters, which is why all of his female characters are trash.
That is true, but it's also frustrating sometimes because I look at it like there are very easy fixes. Like again, Tenten. Why does Tenten not know how to use any elemental chakra? It's clear that she has it, but then again, I can't think of one main cast member in the Konoha 12 that's a female character that uses elemental chakra. We never see them do it. I don't remember seeing Ino use anything elemental. I've never seen Tenten use anything elemental. Well, I guess you could count the war technically when she gets the Sage of the Six Packs tools, but I don't really want to count that. You don't see Hinata using elemental chakra.
no.
Because all she uses the gentle face style.
Let's just face it. He just said women don't matter. Because the thing is, like, what accessory is like, you don't have to write a female character. Just write a character that's a female.
Right.
Like, you don't have to make them inherently like super female. Like, they could just be a character. Because I feel like Kiba's character he didn't have to be a guy to like dogs.
And I think that's
that dog jutsu
pretty
like
well
him being a guy does nothing for his character.
And I think that's reinforced with Kiba's sister and his mother, Hana and Sume, which honestly, other characters I would have liked to see more of. Also, that's another thing about Naruto. We don't know really anything about almost any clan. The only clan we really know things about is the Uchiha clan.
And the Uzumaki clan at the very end.
And the Hyuga clan also at the very, very end. They start getting a little bit more into the specifics, but even not really.
Well, we got a little bit of background Hyuga clan stuff in the very beginning.
Yeah, but that was more so okay. This is why Neji, but that was more so like this is why Neji hates the main house. It wasn't really about like the Hyuga clan.
But I mean, that's like the clan culture. That's like the big part because like the big thing about the Uchiha clan was like they had a culture that was like Okay, this is what we abide by. It's like that was their culture. That was the way they ran things. That's how they made decisions. Like you still get a lot more of the Hyuga clan than you do of any other clan, other than you like Uchiha. Because even the Uzumaki clan, we don't get a lot of because they're all gone except
Which
for
also makes me wonder. It's like the way I think about it, something that it's never made sense to me. If the Senju clan and the Uzumaki clan have such a close relationship, and the Senju clan is what founded the Hidden Leaf Village, you would think that if they have such a close relationship and a lot of them had migrated to the Leaf Village, like for example, Mito Uzumaki was Hashirama's wife and the first Jinchuriki. Why are there no scrolls or archives of any of their like clan techniques? Why can't Naruto go into a library and be like, oh, here are some like clan specific, because they were adept in sealing jutsu. So why does
right.
Naruto not know any?
I mean, it could just be in the Forbidden Scrolls. I
But
mean,
even so, I feel like at a certain point, it should be like a security clearance type thing, where at a certain point, at a certain age, they should have given it.
First of all, he's a whole Hokage. Uh,
Well, now,
I mean, if you became the
but I'm also
Hokage,
like, even when he met his mother, when he was doing his Kurama training, trying to like overcome hatred and whatnot, and he met his mother for the first time. Why didn't they use that as an opportunity to at least have her show him anything? All she really did was sit here like, okay, let me restrict him for a little bit so we can talk and I can tell you like the story of your birth.
because we don't have that kind of time, Sharif. I wanted to talk to you about your life. I don't have time to teach you chakra right now. I only have a very short amount of time to talk to you. I don't know you. I'm very upset that I made you grow up without me. I just want to show you a little bit before I have to go. I don't have time to teach you everything. I don't have time.
I'm just saying the same way that Minato gave I think the slug's name is Garatoga. I mean the toad's name. He
Kalabunka?
gave him the key. Basically, when they did the whole eight trigram seal to seal the Cubian, the key to unlock the seal was given to Jiraiya through a
Oh,
toad.
from Gamabuta. It's my boy.
It wasn't Gamabunta specifically, but there was a toad who gave Jiraiya the key. So my thing is, if you could do that, why couldn't you have like had a seal that you could like give to Naruto that he can go like pop on his own time and like sift through?
He didn't know he was gonna die. Okay, he could only do a few things. He had to give the seal to the Kamabuta. He had to implant his chakra into his
No,
son so he
I'm
can have a
saying
secret
no. What
message.
I'm saying is Kushina knew her chakra was sealed to Naruto, and that she would meet Naruto at a very specific moment when he needed to use her power to control the Nine-Tailed Fox, right? So if you are waiting for that long, because technically Kushina cannot go to the pure land until this happens. So she's basically stuck in Naruto's chakra center until they have this situation. So if you are there for 16 years, why haven't you like at any point be like, okay, this is what I feel like I want to teach you. Like we could go through all the story or whatnot, but let me at least write a couple things down or something, like find a way to weave my chakra signature so that way you can figure this out at some point.
That's like saying that's assuming that
Or
16 years in the time is the same 16 years.
I guess that is true. But also Karin. Why doesn't Karin teach him anything?
Why would Karin teach him anything? Karin and him ain't friends.
But they're family now.
Well, sure, nobody care about that.
But also my thing is, especially if it's clear that Naruto still has a very good working relationship with Karin, Jugo, and Suigetsu in Boruto, why hasn't he shown any like affinity
At this point, he
capability?
don't need it. He don't need it anymore. And for Boruto, he don't need it either. We don't need none of that stuff anymore. We have the Beast Tail Bomb. All that family jutsu
I just want to see
is
somebody else use a
overrated and
ceiling chain
outdated.
stuff. Also, Nagato being an Uzumaki is confusing because since first they give him the Renegon, which makes us think that it's like something very specific to like either the Uzumaki clan or maybe even just Nagato specifically. But then you find out those are actually Madara's eyes that he implanted into Nagato as a child. So then we don't learn anything about the Uzumaki clan through Nagato either.
Yeah.
We learned that the Uzumaki clan was all orphans. Everybody in the Uzumaki clan was out there in the slums, getting it out the streets, out the mud.
Yeah.
The Uzumaki clan is real niggas.
That's one way to put it.
That's basically what we have to determine because everybody in the Uzumaki clan grew up without a family.
That is true.
Real niggas.
Hmm.
And honestly, Kakashi is poorly written in my opinion too.
How so?
How long is he gonna be the secretive background character that we don't get to know about? I just want to see his eyeball.
That's why it's poorly written. Basically, because we can't see his eyeball.
Yes, I mean in Shippuden we fix all that, but
But also,
in regular Naruto, I was just like, bro, like, why do we get to know nothing about him?
I don't know. I kind of felt like Rock Lee because like I feel like because my guy has like his big moment in like the war versus Madara when he goes 8 gates and then
right.
almost. But I feel like Rock Lee because he was like so close to my guy. My guy kind of took all of his like possible moments. My guy kind of already did, so it kind of makes it for Rock Lee to like follow in a way.
Right,
The
Rock Lee
other
never did
problem
anything
with Rock
original.
Lee
He
is that
doesn't
the
do anything
story
original.
used to be the problem with Rock Lee is also they changed what Naruto was about. Between Naruto and Naruto Shippuden, they've changed what Naruto was originally about. Naruto used to be he's supposed to make the argument that hard work beats talent.
Yeah.
Because originally Naruto was seen as this no good talentless is ninja who failed the graduation exam 3 times and all this and that, but that he becomes better than everybody through sheer determination and will. But then Shippuden happened, and it's like, oh, you're the child of this log prophecy, and you've got like this demigod DNA in you, and like you like the
That's what happened. They changed what the show was about. They went from
they went
talent,
to Dragon Ball Z
hard
route.
work beat talent. They went hard work beat talent when talent works hard to, yeah, bro, you just born better. And like you do gotta work at it, but like being born better helps.
And then even if that was the argument, it's like they changed what it's about, and then I feel like I really noticed that shift around the time Naruto is training to do the Rasen Shuriken. This is before the pain fight, before Hidan and Kakazu, where he's training with Kabuto and Yamato. I mean, with Kakashi and Yamato, not Kabuto.
Yeah.
Right.
And he's doing all the he's using all the shadow clones to learn faster. Because he figures out that whatever his shadow clone does, he retains the information from. And
Yeah.
since he can pop out 1,000 of them like it's nothing, if 1,000 of shadow clones try one thing at the same time, it's like he's tried it and learned over 1,000 different times.
Now, what I will say, I actually like that because it wasn't just, oh, Naruto's getting strong real fast, real quick. He's learning it real fast. Like at least they explained why he had the special ability to do that. It's because he has a lot of chakra and he has the shadow clone jutsu that's able let him does that. Because they also made it very straightforward that the fact that Naruto can make 100 shadow clones at will all the time is unusual, even for the best ninja. Like that's not a normal thing, and that was from the very beginning.
That is at least true because that is one of the very few things they
So
tell us.
that was a built up story that they kept important. That's why I appreciate that. It's not just like, oh, he's just all of a sudden figured this out that he could do this, but we've never seen him do it before. We've always seen Naruto have 1,000 shadow clones. We just now realize what that means in a training setting.
Also, speaking of which, now I don't want to say that Jiraiya didn't do anything for Naruto during the 2.5 years because I feel like what Jiraiya did was trying to give him a new foundation. because Naruto didn't really have any like real foundation for his ninjutsu skills. He kind of just flew off by the seat of his pants, and
He was writing his book.
his whole thing was being unpredictable. It wasn't really having any like battle acumen or anything like that. So I do think
He
that's
was
good
writing his
where I
book.
was
He was
able
busy.
to refine some of those things and maybe help a little bit more with like control with the seal and whatnot, which it didn't really seem like it did that much. Because in the beginning of Naruto Shippuden, it doesn't really seem like he has much more control over it than he did 3 years ago.
But didn't he go to help him do like control his wind element, or was that in Shippuden?
That was in Shippuden long after, and that wasn't Jiraiya. That was Kakashi who did that. That was with the training, with the club.
Oh yeah, you're right.
That's how he developed the Rasen Shuriken.
What did Jiraiya teach him? Just how to take care of his clones better.
I think what I would say, Jiraiya gave him a more like a firmer foundation on like the basis of ninjutsu, to where now in Shippuden you at least see that he's smarter, like strategy wise. He's not as unpredictable. He actually does like plan traps and set.
I don't know, because when he first showed up in the village, he did seem more capable. Like I thought, you're right. It's probably like the fundamentals and the basics, just like balancing on this tree stump with one foot, like
Right.
real like basic things.
Like he didn't come back with any
I
new
want you to throw
ninjutsu.
the shuriken and hit the target. The target, Naruto, hit the target.
It's like he didn't come with some new ninjutsu or anything like something like big incredible. All he came back with, as far as ninjutsu, he came back with a giant Rasengan.
And that's
Was
more
it
probably Taka control.
yeah, was it Jiraiya who taught Naruto how to like control his chakra so he could like walk in the water? Or was that someone
That
else?
was technically that was Ebisu. It
Yeah, I don't
started
know.
off being Ebisu between the second round of the third round of the tuning exams. After the preliminary rounds had ended, but before the big tournament style round,
Yeah.
Ebisu had trained Naruto because Kakashi was too busy training Sasuke.
Yeah,
But
yeah, yeah.
then Jiraiya came in the village later during this point, and somehow Naruto gets pawned off to Jiraiya instead. I don't remember exactly how that happened. But
I
then,
think Naruto literally is like, "Oh, Jiraiya, you're here. Now you can help me." Like I literally think he does something like that. Like it's just Naruto's decision. Like, "Oh, you're here now. Hey, I have this question. Help me."
then of course, then Naruto goes with Jiraiya to go find Tsunade. They meet Itachi and Kisame and whatnot. Itachi's backstory is very confusing, I think, sometimes. When you think about where it started. Again, it goes back to how they changed what the show is about. Because I feel like low-key making Itachi this weird anti-hero, that wasn't your plan in the beginning. You randomly added somewhere in the middle that he was a spy for the Leaf Village.
Oh, he was an ambu.
Right. Right. Because like, obviously, like, we see,
I don't think his story is confusing as much as it is like very unfulfilled, because it's like you don't explain why he's decided to still be a ninja but to not work for the Ambu. Like you haven't really explained what
well,
he wants to do, like
that was his way of protecting Sasuke.
what he thinks his purpose is.
His purpose was to protect Sasuke. Because
Yeah, but
the
I'm
way they
saying
explained it is that
you
after the massacre happened, that he went to talk to the third Hokage after he stopped the massacre. Him and Shisui tried to stop it a different way, but then Danzo took Shisui's eye. And then Shisui gave his last eye to Itachi, who then put it in a crow. And then he jumped off the cliff, which gave Itachi the Mangekyo Sharingan because he saw his best friend die.
right.
So then later on, they explain that he has this meeting with the third Hokage in secret, and the third is basically like, "Oh, thank you for preventing civil war, blah 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 blah." Uh, and then he's like, and then so Itachi is like, "I'm gonna go accept this post at the Akatsuki thing, on the condition that Sasuke remains unharmed by the village. That I will go and I will like pretend that I'm like now a rogue ninja that senselessly and mercilessly killed my clan if you protect my brother. Was basically the agreement.
Yeah, I got that part. With
But bring it
Sasuke
back
and
to
Itachi.
Hiruzen,
The
third Hokage.
Sasuke and Itachi part makes sense. It's the Kakashi part that I don't understand.
Yeah, you would think Kakashi would know more than he does.
That's what I'm saying. Like that's what I'm saying. I don't learn what Kakashi's reason for being a ninja is anymore. Like I don't know what it is.
Kakashi or Itachi?
Kakashi.
I don't think he ever really had one.
That's what I'm saying. Like what? That, I was gonna say. I think Kakashi. Did I say I thought Itachi was a bad written character?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh well, then that was completely. I don't know why y'all even let me say something stupid like that. This is y'all fault. This isn't on me. I can have word mispronunciations. They got Japanese names for Christ's sake. Y'all should have told me you're stupid. I don't know how you even wanted me to elaborate on some idiotic stuff like that. I was trying to say Kakashi was a bad, poorly written character. Itachi was the man. Itachi's probably the best written character in the whole show.
Itachi is a good written character.
He's probably the best, like, complete character out of everybody.
Yeah.
He literally,
But
but
before we
anyway,
get onto Kakashi, I still
Kakashi's
say the
trash.
whole Uchiha massacre is Hiruzen's fault. It's Hiruzen's fault.
Oh, that was his dad.
No, Hiruzen's the third Hokage,
Yeah.
who basically just kind of let it happen. So first, after the 9-tailed QB attack happens, where the fourth Hokage
Oh
dies.
no! See, you're going too fast. Which was the third Hokage?
The old man.
Describe which.
Oh man, he's got the long.
Oh,
Konohana
okay. Yeah, nope. That's all you had to say. The old man. I got you.
He's got the
Because
monk.
I forgot he was like the third Hokage. Then he was like the
Then-
fifth Hokage. Then he was like the seventh Hokage. Technically, like he kept taking back over Hokage duties.
Well, not exactly. He was the third, then he was the fifth third, then he died because Orochimaru killed him.
Like I said, he kept taking over Hakashi. I mean, which one was it?
He just took over from Minato after he died.
Yeah. After Minato died, he took back over as the third Hokage. But anyway, my thing is, first of all, I get that, like, and Uchiha, technically speaking, did use the 9-tails to attack the village. But why is that all these other Uchiha's fault? They were in the village getting attacked too. But then you forced them, before this even happened, you forced them into exile, into the very end of the village where they don't interact with anybody by themselves. You say, oh, we don't trust them, so instead of Fugaku becoming Hokage, Minato does. So then when they're like, yeah, we're upset, instead of going like, you know what, as the Hokage, let's talk about this. You are an asset to this village. It is important to us. Let's figure out what we can do to come to a better compromise. No, he just ignores them and then lets Danzo get in the mix. And then Danzo pulls the strings, which led to the coup.
Sharif.
And then Danzo.
The Uchiha, want to know why? I'll tell you why. The Uchiha are black people. Okay? They were born better.
He should have killed Danzo when he had the chance.
Well,
because also Danzo was mad that he didn't get to be Hokage instead of Hiruzen.
Danzo been trying to be a Hokage his whole life.
And then he became the interim Hokage and then was immediately killed by Sasuke.
Yeah, he didn't even get a chance to become Hokage. He couldn't even get sworn in, brother. I think didn't Kakashi at least get sworn in?
Yes.
Or he was about to get sworn in, and at the very end, he pops back up, or she pops.
Right. Yes, he was about to get sworn in, and right before he got sworn in,
right. He's literally like saved by the bell. She pops up out of nowhere. It's like, hey, who said I was done?
And then after the war is over, Tsunade's like, well, done with this. You're the Hokage now, Kakashi.
And he was like, but I'm not. But I'm not.
I do like the end reveal, the end of the war arc, where they do give Kakashi the double Mangekyou Sharingan. But what's also frustrating about that is that it's like a weird chakra cloak instead of it being something that he can access now. Because if we're supposed to believe that Naruto and Sasuke retained their power boost from the Sage of Six Paths,
Yeah.
why can't Kakashi maintain his from Obito?
Because the Sage of Six Path isn't. I mean, Obito wasn't a Sage of Six Path. Madara was
He
the
technically
sage.
was. Because he
No,
gave the 10 tails Jinchuriki, which makes you a Sage of Six Paths. That's in the Naruto lore. They say that one of the ways to become a Sage of Six Paths is to become the 10 tails Jinchuriki, and he did that.
that's one of the ways. That doesn't automatically mean that you did it. Now, obviously, I'm playing devil's advocate, and my answers are stupid too. But these are just answers that you could use to stave off your frustration. Do I agree with these answers? Do these answers satisfy me? No. However, I think those are the best answers we're gonna get.
They should have killed Shino instead of Neji, I think, in the war arc. Or Hiyashi. And it's not because I don't like Hiyashi, but I feel like they were trying to do this weird thing, where it's
Who
like
is
they were trying to,
Hiyashi?
Yeah, who is Hiyashi?
Hiyashi Hyuga, Hinata's dad.
Oh.
Sent her into exile, to make
No,
send her to live with
I
her.
know Hinata's dad. I don't know this man's name.
So it's like we did have a full circle moment, kind of, where Hiyashi
You could have said
and
Dad,
Hiyashi-
Dad Hugo, and I would have knew who that was.
we did have a full circle moment where Hiyashi and Hisashi Hyuga did meet again, and they did have their little battle during the war. Hisashi's Neji's dad.
No, I remember that.
The one who
Once you
places
once
with
once
Hiyashi.
you once you said both of their names, and I forgot who the first one was first, I assumed who the second one was.
But anyway, what I think, because in the war they tried to do a lot of like, oh, the new generation stepping up, they're becoming like,
I think
they're
they were just trying to wrap up stories. In the war, they were trying to wrap up stories. Whatever questions you had, they was like, "Oh, we answered that. Oh, we answered that. Oh, we answered that."
right. But that's why I think Hiyashi should have died.
2000 episode. You had an episode. You had a question in episode 1. We're gonna answer it in episode 2000 for 10 minutes. Be satisfied.
But that's really why I think Hiyashi should have died instead of Neji. Because, like, for example, they took away Shikaku Dara. They took away, what's Ino's father's name?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Boy, I just said I don't even know Daddy Hugo's name. You want me to know Ino?
Shikamaru and Ino, both of their parents died in the war. And they had this other moment where they were carrying a bunch of like older generation characters, important characters, and whatnot, or like at least considering doing it. So I don't know why Neji has to die by a way that's very easily preventable. Because the excuse people give is like, oh, that's the push for Naruhina. You could have done that with literally any character. You could have used Shino for that because they were on the same team, and Shino didn't have a character anyway.
Well,
you could have done that with Hiyashi. No. Given Hiyashi the point to actually actively apologize to Hinata. And to fully be like, I believe in you. I'm sorry for everything I put you through. This is my way of making things right. You sacrificed so much for the clan. This is me making a sacrifice for the clan for you.
But then we have to care about female characters for that to happen.
But if Naruhina's endgame, we're supposed to care about Hinata. She's one of the
we're supposed to. No, we don't care about Hinata. We just care about the fact that she's gonna carry Naruto's seed. We don't really care about her as a person. That's what he's writing this as. Like we're writing Hinata the same way we're gonna write Kurama. And the fact that not even like Kurama, because Kurama had his own personality. We're gonna write Hinata like she's a kunai, and we need to make sure that she's gonna help Naruto accomplish goals.
It also still doesn't make sense to me why Naruto is surprised that she confesses to him or that she's in love with him. Especially after the pain arc happened, I was like, I thought we went over this already.
I know, but I understand. Like when you're in love with somebody else, you don't really see the love someone has for you because you're not
Even
focused
if
on
they
their love. You're
explicitly say, and that's why I'm not afraid to die here because I love you, Naruto.
these are ninjas. They're used to dying for friends and loved ones. This isn't weird. You gotta think
But
it
they
from a
wouldn't
ninja
say it like
perspective.
that.
They might. They're
He went
ninjas.
through a long confession, like, I almost took the wrong path, but then you show me the right way to do things.
Naruto's used to people confessing their deep dying thoughts to him. Everyone
He
does that
wasn't
to
at that
Naruto.
point.
Not I'm not talking about their emotional attachment. I'm talking about just going on long, huge monologues while talking to him. He's used to long conversations.
That's because usually he's the one having them.
And he was too busy. He was too upset at pain to realize the love that Hinata was expressing. He was all built up in anger. He couldn't think past his anger.
He only really got angry once she almost died. And that's when
Yeah, yeah,
he goes
yeah,
out of
yeah, yeah.
control. And then he start arts whooping people at old booties.
Yes, but I don't know. I just realized I just once I figured out like the Arthur himself, the writer himself said that he just didn't know how to write female characters. I just gave up on female characters in his stories. Like you just told me that I don't do this well, and so I just typically just try to avoid it. But then why do you put females into your story and make them important piece or make them like pillars of a idea or like why do you even start with them? We should
And
just
even though
it
he
should be a
said
ninja
he
world.
wanted
It
to
should be
write
a ninja
someone,
world where it's only male ninjas. Forget it. Only male ninjas. Women ninjas don't exist. And then maybe you have that one woman ninja who wants to go against the patriarchy and be a ninja anyway. And then that way you ain't gonna worry about writing female characters. But no, you chose to have all these female ninja and then ignore them.
like for example, Tamari is a very well written character. She might be the only one out of all the women in the show. She might be the only well written one.
And cause she got about 4 episodes of screen time.
They a good 4 episodes. She has
It
to
was
choose
a
for
good
them.
she has a good 4 episodes, but she don't do much either.
She
She
cut.
she a good Shino character.
She does Shikamaru's job better than him often.
Like I said, she a good Shino character.
That's true. Yeah. Let's see.
And I do understand like it's hard to do it, but I've also seen other shows where they're able to do it. So that's not an excuse for me. I'm sorry. I've seen that.
Because like even towards the end, you know who I think actually got probably one of the best development as far as the women character, Ino. And
Yeah,
one thing
and
Ino does, Ino's always learning a new technique from her clan. She's always putting in her clan sensory abilities to better use. She's finding ways to reinvent the application. She is always actively improving. She started doing that, but then they ignore her again.
right, it's like oh, like when they made Sakura like the main character for an arc when they went to go get
Sasuke.
no. They went to go get Gara.
Oh,
Go get Gara
Right,
back. Like
the rescue arc.
I was just like, yes, like this makes sense. I like this. This is what she should be doing. And then they go back to Naruto and she disappears. It's like, but what happened to all that good stuff we was doing with useless over here? She was finally not as useless. I was enjoying to see her being used, and then you guys stop.
The fact that it takes basically to almost the end of the war for Hinata to learn the 64 palms is sad. And
And
that's
then
just basic.
that yes, But honestly, what they should have did with Sakura, like in the war, instead of having Naruto show up out of nowhere and come save everybody with giving Nine Tails chakra and helping everybody, they should have just had. They literally should have had Sakura not be there. Sakura go off to her own little training thing. Her come back with the slug and they did that with the slug and made the slug seem more powerful. So that way Sakura seemed like she had more influence and she was doing something. Because she was over here healing a section while Naruto was healing the whole war.
That is true.
And then when it's them three going against the little bad, the big bad, I don't remember which one it was because they switched who was really the one pulling the strings too many times at the end. That was confusing, and I didn't know who was in charge for certain parts of the story anymore.
At the very end,
But
they say
at the
exactly
very end, when all three of them did the three sages or what's they called
the
the three
three-way deadlock
signing
summoning.
when they did that, I was like, Sakura is still lackluster. Like out of these three, like Sakura just I don't get it. Why why am I supposed to think that she's even helping?
Because she's finally caught up to them.
How? Because she can have a big sluggy thing that does nothing but heal people.
That's what she
There's
said.
no off there's no offensive
Well,
like
Katsuyu also has acid slime, and
yes,
Katsuyu's a good projectile.
I get it. But I'm like on the scale of what Naruto and Sasuke had and what Naruto and Sasuke were doing, why do I care about you?
The problem is they made those two characters gods in the show, and then they made Kakashi and Sakura regular people, but at least they give Kakashi something.
Kakashi ain't no regular person. Kakashi was whooping everybody. They had to send Kakashi to another world because they knew they was gonna lose. They said, "Oh, we gotta ship him somewhere else. I can handle these two kids. Take that grown man somewhere else."
It's like Kakashi got a lot more dangerous once he got both Mangekyo. Because then he gets the
Yeah,
Susanoo, then he can use both ocular vision at the ocular jutsu at the same time.
no, yeah, but I'm saying Kakashi's always been a character that you knew was like I wouldn't mess with him,
I think that's all they only did that to create hype around the Sharingan specifically.
and it worked.
Which also makes me wonder. So, if in the last movie, the Tenseigan is getting by Tonari by taking Hanabi's eyes and implanting into him, can Hyuga get the Tenseigan the same way an Uchiha can get the Eternal Mangekyo Sharingan? That again goes to things like we don't know about the Hyuga clan. Because in the beginning, the Hyuga clan was supposed to be like, was positioned to be like right next to the
It was
Uchiha.
right underneath. It was like right underneath Uchiha.
Actually, originally it was a little bit above. Because they said the Byakugan was a better visual, was a better or dojutsu. It was a better visual Okeka Genkai. Then they changed that.
Because they gave the Sharingan a bunch of upgrades. They're like the normal Sharingan isn't as strong as this, but once you go to level two,
Yeah. I mean, are we gonna wrap up? Are we done?
I mean, what other characters do I feel like deserved more and didn't get them?
Was a sad academy teacher in Boruto. He is a sad, lonely academy teacher.
Who?
Shino. That's what they did with him. They made him the academy teacher of Boruto's class.
So he became
Aruka,
Aruka,
but less impactful.
but with no personality. I
Yep.
mean, that fits his personality of having no personality I mean, it does kind of make sense that the weird kid who plays with bugs, no one wants to play with, be around. Like his character made sense. I'm just upset because I thought it was a cool kid power. I liked it. I wanted to see more of it. I wanted to see him have a contract with a big, huge roach and go into. I don't know. I feel like he could have did more.
I wish more characters had summons, honestly. Because like you said, the beetle would have been a good one. Because I remember the Kamizuru clan has the giant bee summon. So why can't he have a giant
Right.
beetle? Then
Choji could turn into a butterfly.
it's right. Or have like a giant butterfly summon or whatever instead of just the wings.
Well, I mean, the wings was pretty dope. I
The
like
wings are cool. I'm not saying get rid of the wings, but like also add something. Just like why can't the Akamaru? Why can't not the Akamaru? Why can't the Inuzuka clan also summon like dogs? They just have like a bunch of pets basically that fight for them.
Right, they a bunch of Mike Biggs.
Kiba went from having a 2-headed wolf to a 3-headed wolf, and that's all he did throughout the entirety of Shippuden. He went from being able to have 2 heads to 3 heads. Ooh.
Hey, Cerberus is the goat. We don't talk negative about Cerberus.
And then somehow Shikamaru gets development just because he's smart.
Yeah, it's because they need him to figure things out.
But like Shikamaru's interesting because they give him a lot to do. Sometimes more than he really needs, but they give him a lot to do. Like he basically is Naruto's de facto best friend.
Yeah, that's a weird point. Like that's just strange for me for some reason. It's like this is random. Like when did we decide this?
But as someone they decided that like Shikamaru was his new best friend.
Yeah, like but it was just like one random episode. They just decided like, oh yeah, we're gonna make this a thing. Like it was never built up. Like Shikamaru was like always supportive of Naruto. Shikamaru always like the one like, hey, you don't tease him. Shikamaru was trying to help him steady. Like no, Shikamaru just kind of was sitting over there with everybody else while they was giggling and laughing. He was calling him an idiot too. And then one day you was just I don't think he's that bad.
It's because Jiraiya died.
He's gonna be my best friend.
It's because Jiraiya died. Because basically, I think what happened in that episode, Kakashi wanted to talk to Shikamaru. And Kakashi was like, you're really the only one who could help him with this. Because you just lost Asuma. So you know exactly what he's going through because he just found out Jiraiya is dead. That's why Naruto had the popsicle on the bench and he just sat there the whole night and it melted because he used to sit at that same bench and share popsicles with Jiraiya. And then suddenly Shikamaru's like, okay, yeah, I get you sad and whatnot, but we got stuff to do. Dry your tears. Get up. And then now it's like, thanks, bestie. We're best friends now.
Exactly. Kiba was more of his friend than Shikamaru ever was.
I guess you could say a way that he showed his friendship early is he decided to take on the Sasuke retrieval mission since he was the team captain for it. So he's the one who was really like pushing to get this to happen.
Okay. Okay. I guess.
Even though I think that's a weak defense, I do think it is a defense.
Since we pulling at straws.
That's what you gotta do sometimes. You gotta, when there's not enough information, you gotta.
That's what Kishimoto does. It's like, what straw can I pull today?
Right. Let's see. Who can I mess with today?
He's like, Naruto, you're the laughing stock of the village, but your dad was a former Hokage, and
which that also doesn't make sense to me. Even if the village is like under orders to not talk very, very in depth about what happened, why are y'all all so mean? Y'all have to know that much.
That's the thing about me. Like, It's not like the boy was like woke up and was like, you know what? I really want this monster inside of me.
He didn't.
I
It's not
really
like he
want
went
to.
on a rampage.
I'm gonna be very selfish, and I know I can go out of control at any moment, but I'm gonna eat this random Cherokee fruit
Jim
to get
Cherokee devil
special
fruit.
to get special powers, and
That's
now the
basically
whole
what Boruto
vacation is.
is now. Eating turkey fruits. People get rid of powers by eating chocolate fruit. But anyway, continue.
But no, so yeah, it's like, bro, like I was like all of a week old when this happened. Why are you so
It was
mean?
no. He was literally hours old. He was born. That's why the attack happened. That was the day he was born.
It's like for what? B? Why?
He was probably
It's
alive for like 2 hours. Got a demon
not
killed
my
in him, and now
fault.
everybody's mad at him since.
It's not my fault.
And that's why I was like, a lot of
Look,
the heroes and
and
talking,
my
why heroes
parents
not
died
doing
because
anything?
of it. You know, I think that's what it is. They're mad at the baby because, like, they think the baby is the reason why they Hokage died. So they blame the baby. So they hate the baby.
That's his whole dad. That's his
B.
whole daddy. Also,
And
it's
he's
like,
only dead. He's only
heroes
dead
didn't
because of
promise to
baby.
take care of the heroes didn't promise Kushina and Minato on their deathbed that he would take care of Naruto. And when he do, here's a little bit of money. You better make it last a month.
He had his own apartment. My nigga was chilling.
Yes, his own apartment that was pretty rundown. It was a luxury apartment, but it was pretty rundown because people hated him too much to maintain it.
I
People would
mean, but it was
overcharge him
rough.
groceries and clothing and stuff because he was a demon. So he could either got spoiled food, damaged food,
He
or
was getting EDD anyway. It's not he was making no money. He was getting government assistance. He was getting government cheese. All I'm saying is I don't know why they were so mean because I was born in this is not my fault. Hell to me, this is not my fault. Like this was not my choice. I hate y'all. This is not fair.
that's why sometimes watching the episodes where he's trying to like tame his hatred and control Kurama and whatnot. I'm like, you know what? Kurama does have a point though.
Right, I'm like, Kurama making sense, bro. Let that man out. We are both trapped. Let that man out. Don't let him out while you at home. Like, go to another village that you don't like and let that man out. Like,
Like you
when
are
he's fight,
lucky.
when
This
he's
is
fighting against
Sasuke.
Akatsuki, and Kurama's just like, hey, bro, let me out. Let me have some fun. He's like, no. I'm like, bro, let that man out.
It's like if it had at least it wasn't Sasuke. If it had been Sasuke with Kurama, it would have been a different story.
Let First of all, the show would be over very soon. Because as soon as my man Sasuke would have found out how to open that damn gate, he would have been like, I'm opening this gate because I think I'm strong enough to control you anyway. Sasuke was a cocky prick.
Well, it's because he grew up in a house where his older brother was a prodigy among prodigies. In a prodigious clan, he was a prodigy among them. And his dad gave all his attention to his older brother. So he felt like he had to be a perfectionist to get his dad to give him one scrap of validation.
Because he did. It's not like he felt like he had to. That's exactly what had to happen. But all I'm saying is all them feelings and all them emotions, all that does is create a Negro who can go crazy. And Sasuke would have went.
True.
Sasuke would have been like, "This is finally my chance to prove that I can." That honestly would have been a cool way to go about it. Having Sasuke be the Jinchuriki, because then would have been he would have been trying to be the Jinchuriki to be better than Itachi, and then he wound up messing up his whole village.
Fair. Also, I feel like, again,
Really
this
good.
goes back to the fact that we only know about like 5 Uchiha. We don't know about most of the clan.
Right, but all five of Uchiha was kicking butt.
That is true, but my thing is like, where were they during this attack?
Sleeping.
I
They
feel like
got attacked in the middle of the
if
night.
they had known, you know what? This man can use the Sharingan to control the Nine Tails. Shouldn't we find a different Uchiha who also has the Sharingan to control it back?
But they probably knew more than the series allowed us to learn in ahead of time. Because you gotta remember, like, they was having meetings. They was like, these were the elders of the council making these decisions. It's like they probably had inside information, like, oh, you have to have this special Sharingan in order to control the tail beast, and they knew no one had it, and
Fugaku would have had it.
and they didn't have the time to get it.
Fugaku would have definitely had it.
Mm,
Because they try to
know.
Fugaku, and even though they don't ever show us what his Mangekyou Sharingan abilities are, but they show that he has it.
But it obviously wasn't strong enough to stop Itachi.
But
and Itachi
he didn't stop Itachi because he didn't want to. He had made his peace with Itachi's decision.
I still don't think he had the prerequisite power to do it. I think
because
he maybe
I just think he didn't want. I think he didn't want to kill Itachi. I think he would have preferred Itachi to kill him than the other way around. And I think he was like, that's why he's like, just promise me one thing: you will take care of Sasuke.
No, yeah, but I'm talking about like I don't think he had the Sharingan. I don't think he had the power to do it. I really don't.
Then why does he have the nickname Fugaku of the Wicked Eye?
Because he had a wicked eye. Just like the White Fang, he has white hair. Like,
but Kakashi's the copy ninja because he has a Sharingan. That's why he can copy things. The Wicked Eye is a reference to his Mangekyou Sharingan. You can't tell me otherwise. They just don't explain what that means, how it's a reference to it. But I feel like his Mangekyou Sharingan was something they just didn't show us for some unknown reason. I don't know.
I mean, I'm sure he probably had one because he was being considered for Hokage. But just because you have a Mangekyou Sharingan doesn't mean you had the ability to control Kurama.
But yes, but it stated that you don't even need a Mangekyou to control the tailed beast. You just need a 3 Tomoe Sharingan.
Obviously not for Kurama.
Yes,
that's the number Kurama. 9. Kurama the big dog.
But anyway, I guess that's just like some things that I think about.
Well, everybody watching, who was watching, who's continued to be on this call to just listen to us rant about Naruto. Appreciate you. This has been another episode of 10 Talk. This is Anime Talk. We love all y'all. Like, comment, subscribe, do your thing. Peace.